100th hour of Adventurers Wanted Rebellion! Leah's been making that joke for 100 hours. Good. Well, 50. 50? It's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, we go. Good. Lovely. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final hour of Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. We have been playing a 100-hour D&D campaign. We are now in the 100th hour of said D&D campaign. That's just... we're not dead.
Well, I mean, you did die once.
You are coming in at the final hour of an ongoing story. So you are getting the very final chapter of an ongoing story. So obviously there may be points throughout this hour where you're a little confused. That is entirely fair and understandable. If at any point during the hour you would like to ask what the hell is going on...
What the hell's going on?
No, you're fine, you play this game! Please ask from the audience. You're more than welcome to. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement. In fact, let's test you all. Can you, on 3, give me a panto ooh? 1, 2, 3... Ooh. Yeah, that's grand. It's lovely, isn't it? If you want to shout out in that way, please do at any point during the hour. We welcome it. We'd like you all to be on the same page as best we possibly can make you. So, apart from that, the lighting will remain the same. You can head out through either of those 2 doors at any point during the hour and find a member of Sweet Staff who's wearing a black and red t-shirt with Sweet across the front if you need assistance. Or if you need assistance in the room, our stage manager Nemo is right there. Do give them a wave or a look or a nod if you need something in the room and they'll happily assist you. However, this is not a relaxed performance technically because we have Wilhelm at the back making noise. So you make some sound effects and music throughout the hour as well. So, what is happening? We are playing a game of Dungeons & Dragons. Is everyone in this room sort of au fait with D&D? Generally speaking? Nope. Some shakes of head. No problem at all. The 4 people to my left and right play characters in a shared fantasy universe. And I play the fantasy universe. So everything they encounter, everything they do, we collaboratively tell a story about what is going on around them, us, all of it. Noise in the back. To make sure that we use the collaborative storytelling tools we have in front of us, we have character sheets that help us explain what is going on with characters and allows them to do special things. And we use a 20-sided dice, like this one. A 1 rolled on this is particularly awful, a 20 is particularly brilliant, and they will be adding things from their sheet to those rolls to make sure they do things correctly as their character would. Sounds complicated, don't worry, we'll catch up as we go along. We'll try and skip over a lot of the maths that comes with it as well. Sorry, I'm trying to work out how to condense 99 hours of plot into a 5-minute pressy so that everyone's on the same page. I'll get there. So the players are members of a rebellion. They rebelled against a cult that took over their world. The cult that took over their world forced them to mine strange ore from the ground. They managed to defeat said cult and push them back out of their town, out of their country, and out of their plane of existence. However, members high up in the rebellion thought it wise to follow them and defeat the cult at the source of their activity, worried they might return as the ore they were mining out of the ground, used magically, has both explosive, very dangerous explosive properties, and time travel properties. So there was some concern about them coming back in the past or whatever and dealing with issues in a different way. They were concerned, so they followed them. Everyone followed along. Those that followed along had a weird fight through various planes of existence, ended up in a space called the Nexus, a clockwork mechanized sphere with a large crystal in the center of it. They worked to purify said crystal, and once said crystal was purified with the help of another cult, not negative, positive, that were in the Nexus, they managed to do so with the help of their gigantic copper robot, which they are now all inside as souls. We'll get there, don't worry, it's cool. So that is happening there. They managed to defeat the forces of the evil cult completely in the last hour. They are now all vanquished, and the party have successfully won the day. And now we will use the last hour to wrap up the story. So, starting on my right, can you please give me your character's name and their pronouns, your name and your pronouns, and tell us a bit about your character's journey to this point, while I go and find a chair.
Okay. So, my name is Bex. My character's name is... I use she/her pronouns. My character's name is Thatchy Moon. They use they/them pronouns. Thatchy is an orc ranger, so very Lord of the Rings, very World of Warcraft, quite a typical orc using...
I'm sorry.
Using bows and arrows and such to make damage, and also having a few spells. Thatchy started this journey as a relatively young middle-aged-ish orcish individual due to some timey-wimey ore nonsense. They are now pretty old, probably only got about 5 years left, pretty close to retirement. And they've witnessed many of their friends and loved ones pass, and they've nearly been corrupted by the ore and the cult, and they've just, when you get 20 hours of gameplay, a lot of stuff happens to your character.
True.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a he, him. So is my character. Jan. Do. I'm Laird Genasi. Now, any of you who's watched before, I had a character that had a lot of hours put into it. He died.
Yep.
And didn't just die, got completely erased from history. So.
Yep.
It's great. But this guy is great. He loves graves. He likes to inter the dead and make sure that they sleep peacefully and don't come back.
And I use he, him as well.
Yeah.
I'm G. I go by he, him. My character is Harvey, who's also he, him. He is an Aarakocra, which is a bird person. He's about 5 feet tall, quite parrot-like in the head, with blue and yellow feathers. And for past reasons, he has a bear paw print totem on his chest, which does magical stuff sometimes.
You were saved by a barbarian who gave his life, so you could survive.
That.
Again, 99 hours of backstory.
Right, sitting on the far left, my name is Vivek, he, him pronouns, same with my character. My character's name is Markson Ingot, or Marks for short, and he joined this rebellion to overthrow the bourgeois oppression of the cult, seize the means of production, and establish the rules of the rule of the proletariat. He's, just imagine Gimli, basically, that's all you need to know visually.
Socialist Gateway.
Yeah, socialist
Gimli.
Does he have a hammer and sickle?
no, he's got a hammer and an axe, so...
Close enough. Close enough. I think we can style that the axe looks like a sickle, if you like. Let's establish that in the 100th hour of gameplay, why not?
Yeah.
So, music, please.
How optimistic is this music?
Oh, for now, very.
Oh, for now. Love those ones.
Well.
Yay.
You have just ended your final battle with the horrible creatures and surviving humans of the cult, arrayed around you, destroyed. The portal to your homeworld, standing in the middle of the Nexus, very close to this gigantic purified crystal, is still open. The horrific Hellfire engine designed to strip mine your world was destroyed mere feet in front of it. The remainder of the rebellion are standing in the middle of this space, kind of shocked and in awe of the moment they just dealt with, where they had to deal with a monster fighting them both forwards and backwards in time. Watch it back, oh my god. But everything succeeded, there were no time paradoxes, you managed to save the day, and before of you amongst your allies are standing in the midst of this rubble and carnage. What would you like to do? What would you like to do?
I think me and Harvey had an idea of what to do.
Yeah, we've gone over to Telemachus, who is
Yep.
petrified, the stone.
Yeah, turn to stone.
Yeah. We have a brief chat and decide we were to use divine intervention.
We would pray to our gods
to try and save Telemachus.
By all means, roll a d100. That's a 100-sided dice.
I've got nothing.
Why don't you roll another 100-sided dice?
It's 64.
64. I'm afraid you have to roll below your level, which is 11, to have any effect from your god.
I've never done this before. Can you?
So roll the two 10-sided dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
61.
I'm afraid neither of your gods answer your calls, and Telemachus is still petrified in stone.
I'll go up to them when this is happening after their prayers, and I'll say, well, I know one thing you can do. Telemachus' sacrifice should be honored in the central square of the newly built homewood.
You're not suggesting what I think you're suggesting.
And to place the petrified body of your ally as a statue.
We've established they've turned into stone. Is there any way
I
to save
mean,
them?
we might just find
Marks.
another cleric who can, undo it.
I'm hearing from the back of the room that's what Telemachus
I mean,
wants.
it is.
Can I just say, I've just failed my Constitution saving throw, so Harvey collapses on the ground and tears stream over his feathers as he looks up to Mark. Says, "She'd like that. They'd like that. They'd like that."
Can birds cry? Anyone?
Sure.
I'd say they can.
Aarakocra can.
Aarakocra, fine.
Harvey, we can't just cast Greater Restoration tomorrow.
There is a spell that cures this condition.
We can both do it.
I can't. I don't.
You could prepare it tomorrow, man.
The way your characters work, yes, you can. So
Yeah.
I thought we. Oh, never mind.
No.
I thought there was a time limit after which they were.
Nope.
I would like to cast Cure Mass Wounds.
Yeah. There are people around you that are injured, and you cure. How does your spell manifest itself?
Well, what I've not mentioned is that I've always got a stogie in my mouth. So it's like a cigar and it pops out and the smoke just pours into everyone.
Oh, that's nice.
And your members of your rebellion around you are also healed from this terrible fight.
Yep, which is what's the thing?
It doesn't
Math,
matter.
yeah,
But they're all healed. A couple of people who
19 if anybody's interested.
A couple of people on the brink of death are brought back out of unconsciousness into consciousness again, but I'm afraid a good third of your rebellion, of what remains of it, is dead. They died in the fight.
Whoever is dying, can I just run around and spam a bunch of spare the dying?
Yeah, I think Harvey would be doing the same.
Cool. You managed to save some. There are roughly 30 members of this rebellion left. You started off with 4. You grew to thousands. There are now 30 of you left.
That came with us.
Yeah, there's other members in the.
There are other members back at home who decided not to come with you. About half the rebellion decided to stay at home and rebuild and not come out and face this evil on a more cosmic scale.
That's a lot of people we lost.
It is.
I think Thatchy will go round and try and find some more of the cultist amulets. I'm assuming there's loads, so they're not going to find all of them, but find more, and with the one that they have on them already, kind of get them all together and destroy them.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
See what happens. 3.
You find a couple, but quite a few of them are under bodies and you don't see them. But you do collect quite a few of them and place them together in a pile. What do you want to do to the pile?
I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna fire an arrow at it, but when everyone is backed off, very
Yes.
nice and safely, so
Sure.
that no one gets hurt.
You tell people to make some space.
Yeah. I'm gonna fire an arrow at it and turn it into a lightning arrow
Lovely.
using
And-
lightning arrow.
And so just before that, I'm going to try and marshal all the barbarians who are still here to help move all the injured and dead around that, so we can create that space.
No
I
problem
would
at
obviously
all.
wait until everyone
Yeah.
who needs some healing or is still alive is out of the way.
No problem at all.
Do you want me to roll or?
There's no need.
Yeah.
Your arrow arcs out, and as it does, describe how your magic turns into a lightning arrow.
Okay, so as I fire my bow and I imbue it with the lightning energy, you see that there's a lightning bolt that sort of fizzles round the top of the bow, down into the string, fizzles round the arrow until it is just turned into a lightning bolt and shot.
And with that crash of lightning,
Ooh.
you shatter quite a few of these cultist pendants, symbols to their god, now erased from history and time.
That was good.
That's so good.
I mean, that was only one, but you know. Thank you. Thanks, Wilhelm.
Hashtag hire Chloe.
So, standing next to you while you do this is Copper, the 7-foot tall statue made of copper that it can move. It has, it's like a big robot. Steps forward, and the voice of a 7-year-old girl, the member of this cult that all gave their souls to give Copper life and use it to purify the crystal, steps forward next to you and goes, "I'm sure that's how they wanted to go. It's for the best."
I don't think anyone wanted to go, but the sacrifices they made have been for a cause for which they were willing to give their lives. We must honor it and make sure such evil never returns.
Copper, as much as a 7-foot statue can looks confused. Stepping up next to them, Wisatris, one of the two remaining leaders of the rebellion, stands next to it and goes, "Oh, it's not over. We've defeated the cult here, but their tendrils exist on multiple worlds. We must continue on. There is still more cult to be removed from the world. We have taken out some of their leaders and weakened them significantly, and we now have the ability, thanks to the purified crystal and copper here, to travel further, find them on every world they are on, and destroy them. And presumably also find their god, who, as far as I understand, is still around somewhere. However, there is a portal home if anyone would like to leave at this point. There has been a lot of death, a lot of sacrifice."
Alright, see you later, guys. No, I'm joking.
Simon, the human, now encased in horrible plate armor that keeps him alive, he died earlier, now an undead creature held together by this plate armor that sticks inside as well as spikes outside, steps forward. "Wisatris and I will stay. Together we will find a way to bring more allies to our side and continue this fight. But we would not ask that of any of you. I will not rest until Cthulhu and his forces are annihilated from existence. But there is a door home if you wish to take it."
Who will run home if you are not there?
I believe Nils was decided to run the remainder of the rebellion back home. Presumably, with wise counsel, he will be able to run some kind of republic or similar. I don't know. I'm not
Sorry,
very big
could I
on
just
this.
backstory check? Wasn't Nils the guy who betrayed everybody and...
No, that was
That
his
was-
assistant.
Oh, okay.
That was Alf, yeah.
99 hours is going to be some confusion.
Yeah.
That's fine. Some of the other members of the rebellion, I'm presuming some of them are in the rooms. It's quite useful for this. I'm guessing you'd go home, right, Kath? Yeah.
Dottie's gone. Bye!
Hi everyone, I'm not around for that.
Some members of the rebellion, some remainder, are making their way towards the portal. There's no frustration or anger in them. It is more a sense of, we've done as much as we can do. We've got more life to live. And not everyone wants to make another sacrifice now to continue fighting when it's been quite a few weeks of pretty much relentless war. It is entirely up to you if your character would stay or go. I will not force you.
I'm dragging the corpse. I'm just throwing bodies through the portal.
Oh my god.
I'm a gravekeeper. I've got a job to do.
Listen, my place is going to be with the people. We need to set up a truly just society. One where everyone gives to the best of their ability. Give as per their need.
Sure.
So I shall go home and help with the new republic. And set up the first truly great international.
Thanks, Marx.
This new republic later gets destroyed by...
Well, because the Empire would strike back.
First.
The Empire would strike back.
The Star Wars references. Good, lovely. I presume by tossing the bodies through, you will also be going with said bodies.
Yeah, once
to
they're all
inter them.
through, so then I've got a lot of digging to do afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah. I've got a graveyard to attend to, man. I've got duties.
That is true, you do.
We're going to carry petrified Telemachus with us, which may or may not be a statue, depending on how we decide that that's...
That will help you with that.
Okay, so reverse.
Other
and I
people will
carry
help with the
statue.
carriage.
Yeah,
You can
I-
carry it.
Harvey helps carry Telly to the portal.
Yes.
But then I'm not coming with you. Look after them.
I will. And so I do the barbarian handshake with him because both of us are like bear totems now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have my word on that. And then jump through the portal carrying the statue.
Okay.
Thank you, one person.
Is Cash dead? Kesh is the leader of my orc tribe.
Never been fully established.
Would they have died? They would have. I feel like they would have absolutely come on this, and I just wanted to see if they're.
I'm gonna check my other DM. Is Kesh dead? No, Kesh isn't dead.
Okay, cool.
Kesh was the leader of the orcs that Thatchy was part of.
I'm gonna go up to. I'm gonna find Kesh.
Who presumably was there the whole way through, cheering on from the back. Yep.
Yeah. I'm assuming they were dealing with cultists and being
Probably.
generally helpful. Hopefully.
Probably.
I'm gonna.
Shooting squad.
I'm gonna go up to Cash, and you are still and will always be my leader. I follow you. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm going home.
I'm going home.
This is too much for me.
Then will you excuse me if I stay?
Oh boy.
Of course, your actions are your own. You do like a really cool orcish positive headbutt or something.
Yeah. Well,
What?
I'll turn to Kesh and I'll punch him in the arm and I'll heal them. I've just a first level cure wounds, just
Lovely.
in case they need it. Doesn't matter.
Kesh punches you back, you take 4 points of damage.
I am unconscious. No, I'm
Hey, I would be unconscious with that damage.
Yeah.
So let's not.
So, just to confirm, and it's quite important so everyone to be clear, you're staying? You're going?
Yeah.
Cool.
If you need me, let me know. But please, anybody who stays and they die, please send their bodies back so I can bury them
I mean,
and give them a proper funeral.
I
right,
don't
please.
imagine the portal will be staying open, but we'll do our best.
You got a tin man that can open it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've got
I'm not a tin man, I'm a tin 7-year-old girl.
Copper, actually.
Copper as well, yeah.
And in the event that you have more people turning into statues, then we've got places to put them.
Me and you're gonna have words later.
Wasatrus speaks to you two as people behind you are also filing through this portal and going back. Please don't take this in any way negatively, but we will probably not be returning. There is a large concentration of this ore, presumably now somewhat purified, in our homeworld. If the cult knows it is there, they will keep coming. We will be your first line of defense, but we will try and keep you off the cosmic map as much as possible. We will probably never see each other again.
Well, it's truly an honor having fought with you then.
I take out a small fork.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Specifically tuned to our plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand it to Harvey. Just in case.
Thank you. And he just kind of stashes it in his plumage somewhere.
Cool. Alright. Yeah, that's no problem at all. And the two of you step through. We'll come back to you in a second. The two of you step through the portal, which you know goes to Deriland. You've been told it goes there. And you step out, as described, into the oaken bramble, the woods behind Homewood, your hometown, where you are from, where you first started this rebellion. However, as you step through, the skies are blood red. It appears this world is still under the sway of the cult, but it can't be, can it? Make intelligence checks.
$15.
11.
Marks. You are standing in a glade in the middle of the oaken bramble, a space where you have been before, and where your party has been before. There are a number of elf wagons in this glade. Some of them are coming out and looking at this slowly arriving band of people that have just appeared out of nowhere. One steps forward, a man called Kihim, who some of you have met. He is the leader of these elves. I'm sorry, can I help you? A woman steps up next to him, a much younger Wasatras.
Oh no.
And a small child is playing around their feet.
Okay, so... Oh, great. If we tell them anything, that creates a paradox. Okay, I'd like to go find my grandfather.
I would like to grab Marks.
People are generally just looking confused. Kihim, this druid, is looking at you perplexedly, but he's giving you a bit of space because some very heavily armoured Powerful have just turned up in his home camp,
With
and
a
his
bunch of
daughter is
bodies.
playing by his feet with a bunch of dead bodies.
I sort of imagine the dead bodies were getting thrown through the floor.
Suddenly a portal appears. What on earth is that? Poof! Oh! Poof! Oh my God! What's going on?
Like a portal throwing up dead bodies.
No, we are fleeing a terrible war. We...
Talk to him.
Yeah, I'm talking to Karen. We're fleeing a terrible war. We need your help. We've escaped with whatever survivors we have and whatever of our fallen we could have saved to
Mark.
to.
We don't need their help.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Sorry, we just need to seek passage through your forest and so that we might continue on our way.
But of course, you're sure we can't assist you with anything?
Just safe
yes.
passage. Just safe passage is all we
Just
need.
safe passage.
Well, the town of Homewood is not far from here, although you may not find much shelter there. There is a... you've stepped into a very dangerous world, my friends. A cult has taken over our world and enslaved most of our population. We've managed to hide out here in the woods, and they dare not enter as the woods are treacherous, but I may be able to find you safe passage.
We fear that Homewood would be too dangerous for...
You have a lot of...
Yes, wounded.
Well, dead, yes. I mean, can you carry all... Anyway.
I'm assuming there's some bags of holding somewhere.
You could...
Shove the bodies in a bag of holding.
You could
Yes, you
certainly... I mean, I could certainly provide one of our carts for you to use to travel.
Would that create a paradox?
Paradox?
No, this
sorry,
is
it's
like, out
my
of
name.
character.
Ah.
No, this,
Strange
is like, this
name.
is like out of character. Do we
Oh,
remember any?
Alright,
Do
cool.
we remember any cards from the earlier episodes? Would that
There were lots of cards.
Okay, so it won't create a paradox. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but. How many cards were there?
Take
You know,
the
right,
card.
you know what?
Don't forget who your DM is.
Of course, as soon as we'll return the card later.
You are very kind. I appreciate the offer. Daddy, who are these people? Just... It appears just people passing through. The Sartress next to him has not moved, is standing very still. Looks at you and gives you a very definite nod.
We should be on our way.
The bodies and your allies are placed within a cart. You are given passage through the oaken bramble to the north, where you don't know what's there.
I have an idea. We should create a new village called Telemakia.
You're welcome to.
For the last time, I'm going to revive Telemachus.
Fair enough. But we can name the village in their honor.
Sure. I'm not arguing.
And so the survivors, the remainder,
Yeah.
make their...
There's still survivors in the audience, so they want to chime in.
Do you really want to cause a time paradox?
No, thank you.
There we go. 1, 2...
Next tavern exists in a town paradox.
You can have a new tavern.
Up in the mountains somewhere away from where we have been this whole campaign. You can have
I'm
new
afraid
orphans.
those-
You're already there.
There
You're
will be
already there,
plenty
Dottie.
of new orphans.
I don't want new orphans, I want my
No,
orphans.
Dottie, you're already there looking after those orphans in the original timeline. We've just come
Timey
back.
wimey wibbly wobbly.
There's no orphans.
There
Yes,
are.
there
They're
are.
Oh,
already
God.
there looking after them.
We're just explaining to players in the audience how time travel works. Okay, good, lovely.
Yeah.
It's all fine!
Wait, you took Alistair's time travel course. You should know this.
Right!
We will return after we first set
Yes.
through the portal on the island.
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way north to a remote location, trying to stay out of any paradox-causing moments you might create. This small moment, infinitesimal in the sphere of time. Although Basatra seemed to know what was going on for later, I'm sure. You make your way north, you establish a new settlement. Can you both roll me an ability check of your choice as to how you would like to help establish and build this settlement?
An ability check.
Yes, please.
Can I guidance this?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Please be aware that you are in the lands infested by a cult. This needs to be a kind of space you can defend and protect.
With much.
Survival. I'm going
Yes.
to. Yeah.
Oh, a skill check or a
15.
ability check? A skill check. Cool. Oh, that's a different tab. With a great deal of insight into how the enemy operates
Yes.
and how best to get under their radar.
Yes.
I would like to do that with guidance as well.
Sure.
Which would make it even better. It's 24.
Your insight into how the cult operates helps you tremendously in your travel and creation of a settlement far away from any ore veins, far away from any other civilizations that they may be in the process of conquering.
And 15 for survival, so I'm actually helping with the building of the fortifications and stuff.
I rolled that one.
Yes.
The cult never find you. I think it's best we probably draw to a close there with you guys, as you've now established what you're going to do. After the events, which you would be able to track, you're probably able to return to your home, if you so choose. Find your allies and friends that survive, and explain to them the adventure you've had. Neither of you are that old. You will both still be alive by this point. But many, many years pass until you see your friends again. I'm also going to say that you managed to greatly restore Telemarcus, because obviously. So,
I want to say that the Telemarcus, the last thing the Telemarcus did,
Telemachus pulled a face while they were petrified, so we're all aware. Good. Thanks. Two of you.
Hi.
There are some of you remaining. Very few. Maybe 10. With Simon and Musatra standing in the center of the Nexus with the gigantic copper statue next to you. So, we have a lot of work to do. We must also find more allies. We are very small in numbers now, and there will be much we must face. Do either of you have any suggestions of how we could advance our cause?
I mean, I don't really know a lot about how you work already and what you do and how
We
you
are-
get new people.
We are as new to this as you are.
I have a bad feeling these people will turn into the cult in the future and come back.
They don't.
Thank heavens.
They're worse.
Then I think we need to travel to some other worlds and find friends that can, or make friends that can help us.
Were you born in Deriland? You are
No.
originally from the elemental plane of air.
Yes,
We could travel there and try and find more allies there if you so chose.
I can try.
That is an option. Excellent. Dachi, any thoughts on this?
I am without much family. All I've ever known is, well, I've just left that behind. But we went through many worlds following this cult,
Yes.
and I'm sure the cult made their presence known on each of the planes. may not be too bad an idea to go back to some and see if we may rally support from those who've been affected in other worlds.
Help the fight in other places. I see. That is a very sensible suggestion. Very well. Copper, you can control the portals we pass through, is that correct? Yes, I can certainly try. I'm relatively new to this, and there's a lot of voices in my head right now, and there's a lot of people who are telling me what to do, because all the other cultist members are inside my suit. I can certainly try. Very well. Then I suggest the 10 of us form a small task force and use the abilities that we have to grow our numbers, find more. This makes a perfect base of operations, and I believe we can establish here our own group order, maybe, to move forward with this. Very well, let us start making up camp and move forward from here. Copper, if you'd be so kind as to start making portals to allow us to travel through. Maybe air is a place to start. That seems very sensible, and then we can find others on the way.
Before anything else, before we go, Thatcher is going to remove the piece of purified ore that they have been carrying.
The pure green piece of purified ore you've been carrying?
Yeah.
The whole way through?
For a long time.
Cool. Have a look at it.
You looking at it?
Roll an investigation check.
Alright. That's probably like 10.
10.
Yeah.
As you look at this disc of ore that you have remaining, this sort of flat green crystal that you have, you feel tempted, and you're not sure why, to hold it up to your eye and look through it. And as you do, the voice in your head from the crystal that you travelled through when you purified it with the remainder of the good cult whispers in your ear, a final gift. And as you tap the crystal, you can see glowing through it auras of magic surrounding, almost like this crystal has a use outside of the main chunk. May even be a weapon you would use against the cult.
I'm gonna pocket it to investigate later.
Lovely. Anything you'd like to do?
I cast calm emotions on Copper so that the voices in her head are cleared and she can control the portals better.
Oh no.
Thank you. You do. Copper blinks a few times and goes, okay, I think I've got this. And placing hands upon the crystal, charges it, and a portal appears next to you. I think that's the first one.
I'll check, and I step up and through the portal.
You step through the portal,
I would also step through the portal.
as do the remainder, including Simon and Wasatris. And as you step through, it will take you 200 years to return to the Nexus. This fight will be long, and it will be arduous, and you will realize that portals only go one way, and Copper can't bring you back. You eventually fight your way through. That's you have 5 years left to live. You probably don't make it back.
Okay.
Harvey, how old do I get to be?
About 30.
40. They get to 40.
Let's say 40. 5 generations then.
You both, in your efforts, manage to vanquish the cult on numerous planes of existence, but do not wipe it out entirely. It will take forever. If anything, it's an ongoing task that will never end. Over 200 years later, Simon and Wasatris, Simon who lives forever, held together by his armor until he chooses to let go. And with Sartris, an elf living for hundreds upon hundreds of years, and apparently now with some strange knowledge of time that allows her to be in multiple places at once, return and establish the full order in the Nexus. That is the plot of our London game.
Oh my god.
So, if you'd like to know more about that, there are videos online, and we will be playing more of that back in London when we return. We're going to end there. 100 hours. I want to use the opportunity to thank everyone who works on the show. We have a remarkable number of people who make this happen. My co-DM, Leo, is a remarkable human being, an incredible dungeon master, and one of the best people in the world to work with, so thank you hugely, Leo. My co-producer, Chloe, who's doing all the sound effects and helps produce this, is a remarkable human being in so many ways. I couldn't ask for a better friend and for a better co-producer, so do hire her back in London, please. Needs more work.
So if you look on the Twitter feed, we have a hashtag going #hire Chloe, so
you could all help us by retweeting that and get spreading the word out. She is an excellent game designer and theatre maker, and we want to see her more employed.
Yes.
Screw this industry. I also want to take a moment to thank our stage managers, Naomi and Nemo. Between them, they have stage managed the entirety of this maddeningly complicated game, including having character sheets ready for players when they arrive at the table, including having everything ready for regular players, including updating character sheets every day, as well as setting up tables, mics, chairs, all the background stuff that is incredibly hard to do, and I certainly have no idea how to do. So I'm really, really thankful for them and their work. We have had a wonderful selection of players this year, both regular players we invited to join us on stage, as well as guest players who have either bought tickets or been invited to return. And I want a moment, even those in the audience, to thank you all hugely for your time, your efforts, the work you've done to make this a collaborative story that tells a wonderful tale, and it's been great to work with you. Thank you all. Lovely.
Thank you, Chris.
No. I'm not good with these. Don't make me cry.
As someone who has played about 20 odd hours, maybe nearly a quarter of the hours that this game has been on for, and is also really good friends with both Chris and Leo outside of the game, the amount of work that they have put in and the amount of brain power that they have put into creating this story and all the rest of it, it really is like inspiring from like a player perspective, enjoyable. It's been so much fun. It looks really stressful because it is also really, really stressful, but I can't thank these guys enough, and they do deserve a lot of credit. Follow everyone on Twitter who's been involved in it to help them. So.
Yeah, and just to add to that, if you want to a sample of the sheer ingenuity that Chris and Leo have brought to this game, look up the last 2 hours, because imagine playing D&D and everything turning into a massive time paradox puzzle that you've got to solve while beating shit up.
Yeah.
That is what they have done, and everything
work.
from the mechanics to the story slotted in so perfectly, it was exactly like clockwork. So, yeah.
Love you guys!
Also, massive shout out to everyone on the Twitch stream who's been following live. You are wonderful for all of your shares, retweets, likes, everything you do on Twitch, which I don't understand. Jansetra, Andrew, thank you for clipping everything in there. Big thank you to our BSL interpreters. We've had an hour of BSL interpretation every 10:30 to 11:30 slot that we do every day with live interpretation of an improvised show. That's just remarkable and unbelievable, and I'm so pleased we've had them, and a big cheer for Alan and Tommy for their work as well. With that in mind, I think it's time we draw to a close, so thank you so much for joining us for this hour. Do catch up on what happened on Twitter or on Twitch, with the videos are available there. We'll be on YouTube at some point, and Twitter has a live tweeted every hour of the show, so there are GIFs and memes you can check out on there, plus the entire story in one place, which is fantastic. And otherwise, it only stays for me to say thank you so much for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of your Fringe, what is left of it. Thank you.